Hey, everybody, good night. It's Misha Fayon. I am a woman who got extremely sick and got way better. And all I did was use one simple system. So, full transparency, I'm going to be talking about the system that helped me get my health back. And that was the Feel Great system. Look, I'm going to give you tips. We're going to talk about why this is affecting us, all of that. But the reality is, I found one thing when nothing else worked that created health in my life, gave me my life back. In fact, I was just in the kitchen, um, in the I have my weirdness here, but in the building I'm in, we have trash concierge, and I realized it was time to go put it out, so I ran to go do that. Ended up picking up in the kitchen, but I noticed that the little tabs from my packets, there were some on the floor, and I'm just bending over to pick them up, and it dawned on me 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do that. 2 years ago, number one, I would have been in too much pain to bend over. You guys, I used a broom and a dust mat with the handle because I couldn't bend over to reach the floor, or it would cause an off spin of vertigo that I would probably fall right on my nose for. And so that's why I'm here talking about this, because this simple system that's two real food-based products helped me get over all of that. And it's crazy, some days we take for granted our health until it's gone. And so, you guys, if you've been suffering with food addiction, sugar cravings, weird aches and pains, things like I just mentioned, vertigo, periodontitis, Alzheimer's type 3, by the way, is linked to insulin resistance, and a number of other things. I had hypertension, hyperlipidemia. There are so many things that link in, and that's why I talk about it, because most of us don't know what's happening. I worked for doctors, and I'm kind of a geeky person, so I was all about all the labs and running all the tests, and my doctors couldn't figure out what was going on with me. We did all these tests. Um, scans and blood work and urinalysis and saliva tests and all the stuff. And I kept getting these answers that were like, we can't figure it out. One doctor actually ran a metabolic test, and it came back and they said, well, she said, you have the worst metabolic type that's on this list, and there's really nothing I can do for you. You're always going to be fat. You're always going to be tired. You're always going to be in pain, and there's nothing I can do for you. So then I have to come on places like this, and I hear people, gym guys and other people, nutritionists and whatnot, or people who think they know nutrition, talk about calories in, calories out. And if you would just lose weight, or if you would just exercise. Well, look, when all of this was going on, I had been a world champion powerlifter. I was in the gym 6 days a week, about 3 hours a day. I had a nutritionist look at my meal plans. I used to track everything in food planners, like track my macros to the T, and had less than 30 grams of carbohydrates a day, and I was still getting sick. So it's not like I just laid on the couch and ate donuts. And really, that just frustrates me, because people assume, or some people assume, that if someone's overweight, they're just lazy and they're not doing what they need to do. So what if we take some of that stress off? Look, we could all do better in life, right? We can all do better. I'm not going to say that. But this whole shaming and gaslighting of people who are sick needs to stop, because for the most part, it's not your fault. We have this food environment that's creating illness. And the more I study and the more I learn, I'm hearing from other physicians and whatnot who are saying that our food is no longer recognizable to our body as the nutrition that we're meant to have. And so sometimes they're saying that the food can cause some of the autoimmune stuff. Absolutely. Hormones and metabolism. Your metabolism, by the way, we're going to get into that, is driven by being metabolically flexible. I'm just going through in my head how ridiculous that sounds, right? To say your metabolism has to do with being metabolically flexible. But I'm going to explain that, because there are two hormones that are primary with your metabolism. There's a number of them. Yeah, I get leptin and ghrelin and cortisol and all this stuff, right? My wheelhouse is insulin and not as much glucagon, but I understand that we have to switch. Um, my lashes are fine, sweetheart. Um, But we have to switch between insulin and glucagon to be metabolically flexible. And I'm going to go over what that looks like so we can all understand why this is a problem. Our food, as imperfect as it is right now, is causing us to have these insulin spikes. And that's because our food is not converting, or it's converting into sugar too quickly. So let's take a look at this, you guys. I'm going to dive in. Um, I'm going live on multiple platforms again. So the problem really is insulin resistance. And science was saying 2 years ago that only about 12% of us are metabolically healthy. And that means 88% of us are not metabolically healthy. But newer science is now saying somewhere around 95% of us have some type of metabolic disorder or problem. And that means that only about 5% are having optimal metabolic health. So that's a huge problem. And when we link in the fact that doctors like Dr. Bickman, who wrote this book, say that this metabolic issue or insulin resistance is at the root of almost every disease and disorder that we have today, that's crazy. And for me, it spoke volumes because it linked into everything that was going wrong with me, and I didn't realize it till I realized it, right? So one of the problems is that we're losing 17.9 million people each year to cardiovascular deaths or to diseases, and an estimated 32% of all deaths worldwide. That means 50,000 people today, 50,000 people yesterday, 50,000 people tomorrow will be and have lost their lives to cardiovascular diseases. I want to invite you to understand that cardiologists are saying that about 95% of hypertension is caused by insulin resistance. That Stan Ekberg, I'm sorry, I'm talking, and so let me write that down real quick. But if 95% are caused by this thing called insulin resistance, and we're only having about 5% of hypertension be caused by something else, that's impactful because they're also saying that 80% of those cardiovascular diseases I was just talking about are linked to long-term hypertension. So I'm here just to connect the dots. You guys get to connect your own dots. I'm going to write this name down. I'm not sure why I'm looking him up, but I'm sure that I'm going to figure that out as soon as I look it up after this live, right? So you guys, and by the way, I have some blue light blocking glasses on, and it skews the way my eyes look. So that might be part of the problem. But I don't really care. So that's the biggest issue for me. I talk about heart a lot because that was me. I had hypertension that was 180 over 150 at some point during every day. My blood pressure was about 150 over 110 at its best on lisinopril and hydrochlorothiazide. We had cycled me through different drugs to try and get that blood pressure down, and we couldn't get it down. 6 days after starting the system, that's a tea in the morning and a pre-meal drink that I drink before each of my meals during the day, my blood pressure was down to 124 over 86. It's either 126 over 84 or 124 over 86. I lose myself. But I had worked for the doctor that I had gone in to see. I used to be her medical assistant, and she came in and she's talking to me about whatever the illness of the day was for me at that point, because there were so many. And I was like, "Did you see my blood pressure?" And she was like, "What? No, what are you talking about?" She looked at my chart, made the MA come back in and redo my blood pressure because my blood pressure hadn't been that low since my 20s. And that was just 6 days on. Now, did my blood pressure stay down in that first year? No, of course I had to heal a lot of stuff. You guys, I just did a big series on insulin resistance and hypertension, and I still have a few videos to do. But I talked about a number of ways that insulin resistance is causing the hypertension. Those things in reality don't just go away overnight. For me, it was a buildup of, I started having hypertension in my late 20s. So we now know that I was probably insulin resistant for about 40 years. So That takes a while, but now my blood pressure is regularly 120/70, and I'm not on any medications, and I haven't been for 2 years. I threw them all out 2 years ago. So what I do, KJ, is I just drink this tea in the morning, and I'm gonna go over in depth what each one of these do and how I do my day. There's not any crazy diet or weird food plan you have to follow. Look, the gold with the system for me is that you get to eat what you love to eat. You get to live your life the way you love to live it. You're going to make adjustments based on how you want to see results. So I'll give you those 5 tips. But really what I do is I drink a tea in the morning, and actually I'm having a tea again tonight because there's so many good things in this. I drink a couple a day. This is probably my 3rd one. Believe it or not, I will still go to bed and fall sound asleep in about an hour. And then I have a pre-meal drink that is a complex of fibers, phytosterols, and vitamins and minerals that help slow down the delivery of glucose and fats into your system, so we're not having really high insulin spikes. And I'll go over why this is important here in just a minute. But this is putting back what the system is doing is just bridging the gap between where we are now with our nutritional system and where we want to be. Because most of us are getting sick. We're going to the doctor. It's going undiagnosed. It's going misdiagnosed. Nobody's really looking at insulin resistance. And yet it's probably the root of almost everything that's going on with us. It was for me. I was shocked when I found that out. Like, I started the system, you guys, I will be totally honest. When I started the system, I was like, there's in the back of my head, I'm like, wow, this sounds great. I need this. I got to try it. I got to try it. If any of you are really sick and have been sick for a while, can't lose weight, feeling tired after you eat, addicted to food, headaches, body aches, all of this stuff I'm going to go over in a minute, but you're not getting answers as to why, it could be insulin resistance. And I was just like, I just need something to work. I needed to lose some weight for a surgery, but I couldn't lose more than 5 pounds, even on a strict calorie restricted diet and pumping up my exercise. And I also was diabetic, and my liver panel was going bad. All of my numbers were going bad, and I was terrified because of all the other issues I was having. So does any of this sound like anybody else? I know that I run into people all the time who are having similar problems. By the way, this last month they've been giving us this Bone Fortify free with your first subscription of the system. And it is magnesium, calcium, D3 and K2. So I'm drinking this because I want it to take effect by the time I go to bed. Magnesium is great for regular sleep, by the way. So that's what this is. Okay, let's dive back in. I want to explain stuff really quick, and you guys, please ask questions because that makes my soul happy. So with this excess sugar that's going into our system, over time, your body just can't keep up, and it's putting out more and more insulin, and that takes a load on your pancreas, it takes a load on your liver, it takes a load on a number of organs, but all of a sudden you have way too much insulin in your system, and your body's producing more of that hormone, so now it can't produce other hormones in the levels it needs to, and now your whole body's out of whack, and you're suffering and not knowing why. And so insulin is an amazing hormone. We need insulin. That's why type 1 diabetics are type 1, and it's so damning to them because they can't produce insulin. And insulin is what regulates the delivery of glucose into our system. We need it. But just like anything else, when it's out of whack, when there's too much of it, it becomes destructive. And that's what's happening with insulin resistance. So the thing is it links into a number of these things, like sarcopenia, fatty liver, dementia, Alzheimer's, heart disease, stroke, PCOS, high blood pressure. I talk a lot about that, remember? Migraines, obesity, type 2 diabetes, type 3 diabetes, type 1.5 diabetes, osteoarthritis, erectile dysfunction, men. I have so many stories of men who had testosterone levels that were out of whack, and their function was just not there, and libido was gone. And by utilizing the system and getting control of their insulin resistance, all of that came back for them naturally. I know guys who were supposed to go on testosterone who opted not to do testosterone because by adding these two real food products, they gained their normal health back. So there's also all of these things. Not sure why my phone and my computer aren't synced up here, but there's neuropsychiatric disorders like Alzheimer's, retinopathy, Parkinson's, autism, all can be linked to insulin resistance. On the other side, things like tinnitus, vertigo, and Meniere's disease, and I've had a number of people who've had Meniere's disease or vertigo, including myself, vertigo, who've gotten better. I have a friend in Canada who was diagnosed with Meniere's disease last year, and within a few months of being on the system, those symptoms were gone for her. So, and then it links into all these other things: gastrointestinal disorders, circulatory disorders, skeletal disorders, inflammation, and yes, even these types of cancers. Not every type, but there are some types of cancers that can be linked to insulin resistance. Am I going to say insulin resistance causes it? No, I'm not going to make that claim. But if you're going to give yourself the best chance you can with all of these health issues, why not look at this one root cause and start to take care of that? So, getting all these, I want to go over with you guys some of the ways that you can tell you're insulin resistant. A lot of people ask that. Okay, well, fine. How do I know if it's me? You can do blood work. There's a test called a fasting insulin test. Why am I not speaking right to me? I don't know. But that test, I'm hearing more and more that doctors are saying it's not as accurate as they would like it to be. Damn, right? We try to find the best thing we can, and they're now saying that's not even as accurate. You guys got a pen and paper ready? I'm going to give you another way that you can gauge your insulin resistance by labs that you have currently, and that is to take a look at the labs you have in the last physical you had, where you had a complete metabolic panel. You're going to look at your fats, and you're going to take your triglyceride, the number for your triglycerides, and by the way, if it's over 150, there's already an issue, right? And then you're going to look at your HDL. So you want to take your triglycerides and divide it by your HDL, and that's going to give you a number. Now, it looks really skewed in some people, but overall, this is just an indicator that both Dr. Bickman and the NIH talk about, okay? So Dr. Bickman says the number should be 1.5 or lower if you're insulin sensitive. And both NIH and Dr. Bickman agree that if you're over 2, you're likely having some insulin resistance. And I've seen people with numbers like 5 and higher, and that's definitely an insulin resistance problem. So you can check those with labs you have currently, but if you don't have labs, if you don't have the the fasting insulin test, if you don't have those triglycerides and HDL recently, because not all of us go to the doctor all the time, or I don't anymore. I haven't been to the doctor since a year and a half ago. All right, so what you can do is this. Dr. Bickman talks about these 5 indicators of insulin resistance. So the first one is hypertension that I've been talking about. According to him, if you have that, you're likely insulin resistant. This next one is skin tags. You guys, skin tags on your underarms, your groin, your ladies can get them along your bra line where things are rubbing, on your chest, on your eyelids, on your neck. Those are an indicator of insulin resistance. And you don't have to have them cut off. You don't have to have any crazy surgery or any, look at this neck up here. I can't imagine trying to have all those done. And how many of you guys have seen skin tags cropping up and you just think this is normal with age? This is something that happens and I just got to live with it. No, it's an indicator. Your body's telling you have an insulin imbalance. So take care of that. Those actually go away. Every single skin tag I had was gone within 3 months, just gone. I didn't have to do anything crazy, and they've never ever come back because I've stayed insulin sensitive, because I never ever have gone off the system that I use. So then acanthosis nigricans, some people say it different, but that's how I prefer to say it, and it's okay. So that darkening on the elbows, on the knees, The neck, you'll see people with dark rings on their neck. It looks as if they haven't washed. Maybe you have it on your skin and you're like, why do I have these dark patches and they're rough and they're scaly, and you're scrubbing and you're putting lotion on and they just won't go away? Because that was me. I was like, where, I know I'm Native American, so I have some, but like, why do I have ashy skin on my knees and my elbows, and why is it like catching on all the fabric? Well, that was insulin resistance. So what I keep really lifting up my elbow for is there's no darkness, there's no rough patches of skin because I'm insulin sensitive, and my body has fixed that. So then, ladies, PCOS, if you've been diagnosed with PCOS, that's likely insulin resistance, most likely insulin resistant. And men, again, erectile dysfunction is directly linked to insulin resistance, and you don't have to live with it, and it's not your fault. Ladies who are infertile and having all these problems, it's not your fault. You guys, with those two things, we all tend to take it on as if it's our fault, and it's not. Just address the insulin resistance, and it will likely go away, okay? So then a couple of the other things are here. So again, I talked about the triglycerides. If your triglycerides are over 150 milligrams per deciliter, that's likely insulin resistance. If your HDL is low, that's likely insulin resistance. You should be taking a look at those things. If you retain water or have edema, that's probably one. If you're constantly hungry, especially after you eat, or your body temperature drops, or you're extremely tired after you eat, that's likely insulin resistance. If you have chronic fatigue, headaches, body aches, migraines, all of that stuff, you just feel like you can't move, that's insulin resistance. I remember, and you guys, things like anxiety and depression also link into this. It's crazy. But one of the big indicators is if whether you're skinny or heavy, right? If you have that belly that's poking out, um, that's insulin resistance. You start putting on visceral fat, and that can be really damaging, but it's making your belly poke out. And so those are all indicators that you might be insulin resistant. Pay attention to them. I have not done a video on all the extended ones lately, so maybe I should, so that that can go in there. You guys, I'm really working hard on getting stuff put together so it's easier for you guys to find. So I will do a tab in my TikTok of indicators of insulin resistance, both the 5 Dr. Bickman talks about and these ones that I just went over. And then if I go into depth, I'll drop those in there too, just to help you guys out so you can remember what those were, because I know I go through stuff really quickly and it's hard to remember it all. But I'm going to dive into a couple of stories now, and then we're going to go over the system and why it works. So look, this was me. This was me. I have a different picture now too that I want to show you this other picture, because this was me in 2021 when I started, and this was me about 6 months later. And it's crazy to me that I lost 50 pounds when I sat in a doctor's office crying because she told me I had to lose 15 pounds to have a hernia surgery that I had to have. I mean, it was dangerous, but she was like, I'm not doing it unless you lose 15 pounds. Well, she was afraid that I had so much visceral fat that the surgery wasn't going to take. 6 months on the system, it wasn't even 6 months, 4 months on the system, I went in for that surgery. Number one, I got approved for it. She thought I wasn't going to get to. And then when I came out of it, they were surprised at how little visceral fat I had. And that's the fat that's under the muscle wall of the belly. For a woman my size, they were shocked at how little visceral fat there was and how quickly I healed. So the system did all of that for me. But I do want to find this picture because I like pictures. I don't know. I gotta move this for a second. I have way too many files on my computer. How many of you guys have like tons and tons? I have so many files, it's insane. And there's so many now that I don't even know if I want to go in and clean them out, because it's gonna take me a year to clean out all these pictures. Maybe. Okay. All right. Everybody on the other apps can't see this, but look. Okay, this is another picture of me just before when I started. Um, that was me, and I remember I had a best friend. She came to visit. We were taking pictures for another thing we were doing, and I was so mad at her because I was like, "You made me look fat. You know, like you don't know how to take pictures." And she was looking at me like, I don't know what you're talking about. I just took the picture." So that was April of 2021. This was January of this year. 2 years later, and I still have kept and I still kept that off. Let me take a look at what this question is. Hang on a second. Because I've been in work mode all day, and so it won't auto deliver. If you put it on auto deliver, it will. So here's the thing, you guys. I recommend that you put it on auto ship because you're saving money. You don't pay shipping. That saves you about $10. You save $5 on the product itself, and then they send you a free product. I believe they just said they're changing now so that you'll get the omega 3s this month with the auto shipment. But the auto ship, when you do it on auto ship, they send you out a notification 5 days before it ships again. So if you need to put it off, if you need to cancel it, if you need to do any of that, you have plenty of time. It's not like some of these things where you order something and then all of a sudden it just shows up at your door and there's a charge out of your bank account and you don't know what happened. The company does really good about letting you know. So I just recommend to leave it on auto ship. You can cancel it at any time. You can adjust it. You can add to it, subtract from it, whatever. But KJ, if I see your order come through, then I'll try and get a hold of you and we'll talk. I'll see what's going on with your order. And then, by the way, you'll get some emails from me and then you'll have my personal number. Please reach out so that I can help you get started and get your success with this and just help support you in any way I can, okay? Some people want to talk to me. Some people just don't want to, and that's fine. It's up to you. I have people who talk to me almost every day. I have people I never hear from at all. So that's up to your comfort level and what you want, okay? All right. So I'm going to get back to, I forget that I have this other one up here. I got to close all of these down now so I can get back to this on Facebook and YouTube. You guys, thanks for putting up with me. I should be checking that chat too. Okay. So that was me. I'm going to show you a couple other people and then we're going to get into the products, okay? So that was me, right? My A1C went from 7.4 to 5.3. I lost 55 pounds. I had hypertension, hyperlipidemia, gone. Sleep apnea, gone. Heartburn, gone. Chronic fatigue, chronic pain, arthritis, leg cramps, skin takes, skin discoloration, brain fog, depression, all gone. My mental health is so much better now since using the system. So now, Jason is, I'm sorry, I thought I had Jason up next, but this, you guys, when I talk about edema and neuropathy, these are big signs for diabetes and that you're in trouble, right? So the top picture was my feet in 2021, and they were swollen every day. Within an hour of me getting up, they looked like that. They were bruising. They were painful. I could hardly walk on them. My shoes didn't fit. I had to buy diabetic foot socks. The bottom picture was a year later, after getting off a plane from Panama and being in airports and on planes all day. I pulled my socks off when I got home, and I'm like, holy smokes, they're not even swollen. So that's hormones. And men just tend to lose weight quicker than women anyway. I mean, that's just the truth. And it depends on your age, your hormones, and how long you've had the weight on, Susie, and what other problems are going on for you, right? So there is truth to that, though. Like Jason has lost 140 pounds, and this is Jason. So his A1C went from 6.3 down to, or from 13.3 down to 6.3. He's lost 140 pounds. His hypertension is gone. His hyperlipidemia is gone. His sleep apnea is gone. Chronic fatigue, chronic pain. He was losing his eyesight. They had him up for gastric bypass surgery. Thank God he didn't do that. And like, he's continuing to lose weight. He's continuing to thrive. It's amazing. So Susie, make sure, um, did I don't know if you purchased from me or not. If you did, get a hold of me and let's just talk about it and see what I can do to help you. There's probably something that I may be able to pinpoint just from experience with the system, and I'm more than happy to do that. If not, reach out to the coach that you purchased from, and we should be able to help you. Okay. Um, so there's Jason, 140 pounds down in 6 months. And then there's Cindy. She's down 80 pounds in 6 months. So yeah, did she lose as much? But she didn't start out as much overweight as Jason did either. Now, Cindy didn't have a high A1C, right? She was only at 5.9, so pre-diabetic. She's no longer pre-diabetic, but she had hypertension, she had hyperlipidemia, she had inflammation, she had brain fog, she had neuropathy, and that's all gone. Okay. And then what's interesting is you look at this one. This one is Karen. Karen has only lost 25 pounds, but her A1C was 11.5 and it's now down to 6.5. She's lost a ton of inches. Her sleep apnea, heartburn, chronic fatigue, brain fog, and mental health are all better. And then I love Steffi. I have her up here because you guys, this is not just for overweight diabetic people, okay? It's not a weight loss system. This is to get your health back. This is to bridge the gap, help you with the things that we're having problems with because of the food system that we have now. So Stephanie has lost 30 pounds. She has what she calls 4-pack abs, and she's never done a sit-up. Um, she has severe ADHD. I knew her before she started the system, and I'm going to tell you, as crazy as she sounds and hype as she sounds now, it was way worse before. At least she has some focus now. She's able to function more normally with the ADHD. And so my grandson has ADHD. He's been utilizing the system and noticing that he's been able to focus more in school. I have ADD. It's so much better since I've been doing the system. You guys, it's insane the things that can get better when your insulin levels are normalized. And then there's Dia, who's lost over 50 pounds. She was a cancer survivor. She's had improved gut health, reduced pain, and she says she's gotten her life back. And she's lost even more weight now. And then there's this young man who's a type 1 diabetic. So yes, type 1 diabetics can get insulin resistant as well. I can go over that if anyone wants to know why I say that or what's going on. But yes, type 1 diabetics can absolutely be insulin resistant, just like type 2 diabetics. No, they can't produce insulin, but their body is producing glucose too much, and so they have to have extra insulin, and then their body still shuts down the receptors just like it does for the rest of us. So this young man has lost 35 pounds at 11 years old. He has better moods. He's doing better in school. And when I talked to him, I did a video on him about a year ago. When I talked to him and was asking him, like for an 11-year-old, was this hard? Did he have any problems doing it? What? And he was like, no, this was so easy. And he's just so happy that he's not having all of the insulin problems that he was having from being type 1. Is he still on insulin? Obviously, he's still on insulin, but he doesn't have to take near as much. And everything is just, he feels like he has energy that he hasn't had. He's not crabby and depressed and anxious anymore. Just, he's an amazing kid. So yes, it works for type 1 diabetics and it works for kids. That's why I have that one in there. So what you guys are told most of the time is, right, eat less, work out more. If you would just lose some weight, if you just got active, it would all get better. Well, that's great. But what happens when you're in so much pain you can't move? What happens when all of these hormonal things are gone wrong and you're food addicted and you have problems with sugar and you have anxiety and depression and all of these things, and it just feels overwhelming to do any of this? And then life gets in the way and throws you off path. Even when you decide, okay, I can do some calorie counting and some intermittent fasting and all this stuff, and then life gets in the way and you fall off and you're like, oh crap, I'm done. This just, nothing is working for me. Been there, done that. But you guys, it doesn't have to be this way. So if you're feeling like this lady up here that's just like, help, no, it can get better. Part of the problem is that we're relying on willpower, and willpower is just not enough, you guys. We have this modern food environment I'm going to go over in just a second. We have work demands, we have family needs. It's so much crazier than it was ever. Like, I know my parents were stressed, but hey, You know, we went to school, we came home, we played out in the yard. Nobody was like, Mom, take me here. Mom, take me there. I need the newest this. I need the latest that. And the work, you know, it's crazy. Our lives are crazy today. Lodi, good job. 30 pounds down. Tell me what else has been going on with you. It's been a while since I've been on, so I haven't been able to interact with you. But you guys, we just are not in the same environment. And then our food is imperfect. And then we're stressed. And then we end up with decision fatigue. And so we just grab whatever is convenient on the way home. And most of the time it looks like something like this, like, you know, Arby's or McDonald's or Popeyes or Chick-fil-A or whatever. And then we feel bad, right? And then we're like, oh, now I screwed up again. What, you know, why is it all worth it? But when we look at our food, I don't know where my other food went. I just did these tiles tonight. So you guys, here's the problem. Our food, even when we look at raw organic food, it's not the same. This top picture is what a carrot used to look like, and the bottom picture is what we got now. Carrots used to be a fibrous root, hard to chew, bitter, and just really not overly palatable. So we wanted something that tasted better. Food industry complied. They modified it to become the carrots we have today. Look at the watermelon. There was a lot of fiber in there. You see very little of the fruit, lots of fiber and seeds. That's meant to slow us down from ingesting all of that sugar all at once. And yet we, in our wisdom, have taken it away because we just want the sweet part, right? So now we have what I affectionately call sugar water in a shell, because that's basically what watermelon is now. And then you look at corn, and it used to be more like a grain, and now it's a vegetable, and it's full of sugar and starches and whatnot without all the fiber to slow that down. So then we take a look at our grains, same thing, stripping off all of these external layers that give us the ability to deal with that starchy endosperm in the beginning, in the middle, and all of these things with the absence of these phytosterols and the fibers and everything are turning into sugar in our system so much quicker than they've ever been meant to do. So does anybody have questions so far? And you guys, I want to tell you that it's not your fault. We have a very imperfect food system. We have a very imperfect life. We have a good, tasty fiber. Texas, yeah. The crazy thing is, I don't even worry about it. I just drink my balance. It mixes in water, and that's it. And I actually mix it in a bottle just like this, right about the level this liquid is now, no ice. Put that much water in here, dump this in, shake it up, and then I drink that. That's my fiber. 9 different types of fiber and soluble and insoluble fibers in here. Gives me everything I need. Now, if I want to have all the vegetables in a salad, I had an amazing kale and cauliflower and broccoli salad thing the other day when my son was over for dinner. I can have all of that, but I'm not relying on me having plates full of dark green vegetables and a variety of them to get in what I need to be able to do that. I just have the balance. So that's what I do for my fiber, and it makes it easy. It's portable, it's sustainable, and done. I don't have to worry about it. You guys, I travel. I have manifested a life of travel. See that map back there? That's part of my manifestation techniques. And I travel a lot. But that means that I don't always have fresh fruits and vegetables available to me at every point in the day when I need them. So the balance has been a lifesaver because it gives me what I need and I don't have to worry about it. End of story. And some days I'm a carnivore, so I like protein. And so there's some days where I don't really eat a lot of vegetables, and it's okay because I'm still getting my fiber in, and it's natural, it's halal, it's gluten free, and that's it. You take 2 lemon Unimate a day now. I do 2 to 3 of these a day, and then 2 to 3 of these if depends on what I'm doing. Today I only ate twice, which is how you're supposed to do, right? So I had eggs and sausage, and I can't remember what else for breakfast, and for dinner I actually had this crazy good mac and cheese I bought over the weekend. It was mac and cheese with blackened chicken on it, and a Hawaiian roll. That was my dinner, and some of the leftover salad. So this absolutely, Lodi, this help, and it's Lori. I know your name is wrong, but I always read it as Lodi. This helps you feel full besides helping mediate those carbs and fats you're eating. So it's amazing stuff. So what you're going to do, whether you're doing the system or not, is you're going to do these 5, and I've changed it to 6, okay? Because I understand. I was trying to keep it 5 and 5 because my ADHD and my whatever wants things to be even. But I changed it to 6 simple principles for everyone who's concerned that I wasn't adding that 6th one in here. So we're going to go over them quick and dirty, right? So you want to get fiber in first every time you eat, before you eat. And if you don't have all of those fresh fruits and vegetables, homegrown, whatever around, just use your balance. That's what it's there for. Then you want to fill up with fats, and you want to do healthy fats. And what I consider to be healthy fats are things like, we're going to go over that here in a little bit too. Your animal fats are actually healthy. Duck fat, lard, ghee, butter, those are all healthy. Coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil. You guys, with the vegetable type oils like avocado and olive oil, think about it. If you can't squeeze it and get an oil out of it, why would you think it's a healthy oil to eat? So those are the oils that I have. I actually have coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, real butter in my house, and I never cut the fat off of meats or take the skin off of chicken. And I don't have a heart problem anymore. It's amazing. So then you want to prioritize protein. Most of us are not getting in enough protein. About 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body fat. Or anyway, most people should be getting 80 to 120 grams of protein a day. We're not getting enough. Please make sure you're getting protein in. That's what builds the lean tissue in your body, right? Carbohydrates don't do that. You have to have proteins for that. Control your carbs. That's not meaning you have to get rid of them. That doesn't mean you have to ditch them all. But be sensible with your carbs. Things like watermelon and pineapple and bananas, my favorite fruits in the world, are all high glycemic. So I have to be careful with those. High glycemic means it's going to turn into sugar in your system quicker than things like pears and apples. Okay? So limit your carbs. Don't have all of your meals be from carbs. And then watch the clock. So yes, we are going to do some intermittent fasting. I remember for years my son talked to me about intermittent fasting, and I was like, "Are you?" I'm like, yeah, that sounds really great. That sounds cool, son. I get it. The science sounds great, but I couldn't do it because I was so carb addicted. I just couldn't make it happen. So, with the system, I don't have to worry about it. The tea that I drink in the morning shuts down my hunger and makes intermittent fasting a breeze. Yes, I generally only eat twice a day. I get enough nutrients in. Between these and the food that I'm eating, I get enough nutrients in, and I feel great. So, and then you want to move your body. I was not moving my body enough for a while after I got sick because I was in so much pain, so I get it. But move your body doesn't have to be do some crazy workout. The more you get healthy, the more you're going to want to work out. But for now, like if you're in that mode where it's just painful to get up and move, I remember that. Just get up and take a walk after you eat. Don't do the thing of lay down and, just sit and watch TV after you eat. Even if it's like I have a little island in my kitchen, even if it's like taking laps around or just I like to take a 5 to 10 minute walk or whatever. I've taken up doing some qigong, so I do some movement and stuff like that. Dance, put some music on and dance by yourself in the living room or whatever. Just move. I love weight training, so I like to go to the gym, but that doesn't have to be the life for everybody. I also take a walk every day that's a 10 to 20-minute walk out in nature. Just move your body. There's a lot of science that says that especially when you're weight training, when your muscles are working and they're open, they're more sensitive, open to taking energy in. They're more sensitive to insulin. So that movement helps you become more insulin sensitive, okay? So those are the 6 things. Yeah. When you start the system, your whole look changes. I can't tell you how many people that I've seen that just look like they've stripped 10 years off of their their face by just doing the system. So you guys, how the system is working and what's happening with balance is this. Normally when we eat, our insulin goes up because it's matching our sugar levels. Our glucose level is going up because, remember, the food industry stripped out what we need to slow down the delivery of those sugars into our system. And when we get that really high spike in insulin or in glucose, insulin follows it because insulin's job is to take that glucose, that's energy, and deliver it to our system. So it drives me crazy. I know in the short term, some people are losing weight with doing every 2 hour eating, but you're spiking your insulin every 2 hours. We never used to eat like that. Why do we think it's healthy to eat every 2 hours? Because the food industry's told us to? Because the food industry wants us to eat more? No. I bought into that in my 20s before I gained a lot of weight. And I'm going to tell you, yeah, maybe I lost a little bit of weight at first, but then I started putting weight on and I couldn't take it back off. And I bought into that eat every 2 hours for years, and I ended up at 270 pounds. Now that I do intermittent fasting, I'm back down to closer to 200 pounds. And that's a pretty healthy weight for me, actually. Would I love to lose 10 or 20 more? Yeah. But I'm not at 270 anymore, and my health is stellar in every way. I'm amazed at the things that happen. So we want to keep those glucose spikes down, and what balance is really doing is helping slow down that spike of blood sugar so that our insulin never has to go as high, which means it can come down much quicker. What did I just do? I hit the wrong button, you guys. I'm learning something new. So I'm not going to go over that. So the system is really simple. Again, it's a tea and an alarm and everything else going off all at once. It's a tea that I drink in the morning. And why am I... There we are. Okay, tea that I drink in the morning, pre-meal drink that I drink before every time I eat, and that's it. Now, I do want to shut this down because look, this is the gold, okay? So this little chart, you guys, this is a suggested plan. It's not like you don't have to follow this strictly. If your lifestyle looks different, then it looks different, and we work through that. And that's what I'm here for, is to help you figure all this out. So for most of us, we're going to have dinner, and then you have your balance before 10 minutes before dinner. What's happening is it takes about 2 hours for you to actually be in what we consider a fasted state. So that's when your fasting actually really starts, about midnight, which is about 6 hours later, before your blood sugars really normalize. And then it takes about 8 hours or until 2 a.m. before your insulin levels drop. So I'm going to pause really quick here, and we're going to go over this. Insulin is anabolic. It wants things to grow. And glucagon is catabolic. It wants to eat things up. But insulin is a major hormone. It's a primary hormone. It won't let the other hormones that oppose it do their job while it's out to play. We have to get insulin levels down. That's why I hate this, everybody talking about eat every 2 hours, because you're just spiking your insulin up and up and up, and it never comes back down. So what we want to do is get that insulin level to drop. That's why we're doing intermittent fasting. And then glucagon can come out. Glucagon is what's eating up those fat stores and the tissues and stuff that need to go away. It's eating stuff up and utilizing that as energy. Fasting does not mean you're going to lose muscle, by the way. If you're like me and you have stores of energy across your body's not dumb. It's going to use what it needs first, but we're still getting nutrients in, right? So the body's going to use what it needs, and it's not going to eat up your muscle stores because you did a little bit of intermittent fasting. All right, so then about 6 a.m. your digestive system resets, and around 7 a.m. when you wake up, or whatever time you wake up, you're going to have a Unimate. I don't gulp mine down. I take about an hour to an hour and a half to drink mine. I enjoy it. I usually have it in a mug just like this one that I have tonight, and I take my time drinking it. But that's shutting down your hunger. It's helping you burn fat for fuel, and it's helping you be put out more ketones. It's not a ketone product. It's helping your body produce more ketones on its own. So then your fat burning begins. You're in a great fat burning state. You're metabolically flexible. All of this stuff is happening. You're going to have some breakthrough hunger around noon, and then you're just going to drink your balance, and then 10 minutes later you're going to eat. And that's all it is. It's so easy. So my breakfast every day is about noon. And if I want to have eggs and bacon for breakfast, I have that. If I want to have chicken for breakfast because it's at noon, I have that. So this is what it looks like, you guys. A tea in the morning, a pre-meal drink 10 minutes before your first meal, a pre-meal drink 10 minutes before your second meal. If you have breakthrough hunger in the afternoon, just have another Unimate. It's going to shut the hunger down, not add extra calories, and not spike your insulin levels back up. So, and then what happens if you are somebody who works a lot, or maybe you have a day where you just want to have 3 meals. I know on the weekends it's easy. People want to have their breakfast with their families. Do that. Just have an extra balance before you have that extra meal, and it's going to help you with those sugar spikes. Balance has been proven to, I got to change all this up again now. Balance has been proven to reduce your blood glucose spikes by 20%. And with 1, and 13% on your insulin, and 28% if you utilize 2, and 27% on your insulin spikes by using 2 of them. It's insane how good this works. So let's move this down, that one up. Yay, we're back to normal. Okay, so just have balance. In fact, I have balance before I eat anything. It doesn't matter. If I have a weekend where I'm hanging out with my grandkids and we want to have snacks, we want to have popcorn in a movie, have popcorn in the movie. I just have a balance first. The tea does not break your fast. So the tea, for our purposes, what we're talking about with the fast is we're not wanting to spike our insulin. And so when you look at the foods you eat, there are things that spike your insulin and there are things that don't. So carbohydrates are going to spike your insulin, right? Proteins, amazingly enough, will spike your insulin because a part of that does go to glucose, and they spike it about half as much as your carbohydrates. But things like fats and fiber don't spike your insulin. So this does not spike your insulin in the morning. There's some calories in it, but they're not spiking the insulin. You're staying in a fasted state. The glucagon is still out doing its job. And interestingly enough, guys, I'll tell you all day long, every day, that I'm a geek, right? So I hate finger pokes, but I've been doing it because for science, right? I have a watch, by the way. I don't know where it's at because I think the newness of it wore off, but my glucose levels are always in normal range now. But glucose is not the best way to check if you're fasting, because your body will, as it eats up fats and other things, it will create glucose in your system as energy, so that your blood sugars are going to roll up and down even if you're fasting. I did a 10-day fast, didn't have any food, and it was crazy to me to watch my blood glucose go up and down as my body was shedding off stuff, stored stuff. So I test ketones. Ketones, no. In my opinion, that MCT does not spike your insulin. Look, fats don't spike your insulin, or only negligibly. And in a fasted state, they're doing you so much more good than anything. And we have a tea that has some MCT oils in it. So in the honor of science, I took my ketone monitor and I tested. I did several days of testing. So I would wake up, had my Unimate, and then waited an hour. My ketones actually went up. Had my Unimate fuel another day, checked it. My ketones didn't go down. They didn't really go up, but they didn't go down. So this wasn't breaking my fast. The crazy one, you guys, is with the balance in a fasted state, in a couple day fasted state, I had balance, and my ketones went up every time I had the balance an hour after I had it. So one time it early on in the fast, it doubled my ketones. Why again is that important? Because ketones are a factor that your ketones won't come out when insulin is out. That's why I look at those. Okay, thank you. Um, I keep finding videos of me from a couple of years ago, and I'm just shocked at how much different I look. And I even have a picture holding my grandson, who's now 13, when he was a year old, and I feel like I look older in that picture than I do now. And part of it is, you guys, when you're getting nutrients to your body, when you're insulin resistant, that means you're not getting energy to your cells. That means you're not getting the what your cells need to be healthy. So when you become insulin sensitive, in from everything that I've read, everything that I know, your cells are starting to get nourishment again, and that's the gold. And so skin starts to look better, especially with some fasting, because fasting allows you to shed some of that tissue that needs to go anyway. When I first lost my weight, like I still have a grandma chin, right? When I first lost my weight, this was really loose and hung down from all the weight I had lost, and it's been pulling up naturally, just because of the fasting and being insulin sensitive and staying on the system. So thank you. So you guys ready? Do you guys want me to go into what the products do? I'll go over those really quick. I know I've been really talky tonight. Um, so here's the thing. The one of the things I love about our Unimate tea is it is a herbal mate tea, and herbal mate is completely safe to drink, you guys. But we handpick ours, so it's ethically harvested, it's sustainably harvested. We're buying it from farmers who own their own farms. They handpick it, no machine harvesting. That means they know exactly what leaves to pick and when. So we're not getting overripe leaves. You guys, in some of the herbal mate that you're drinking, you're getting green leaves, you're getting stuff that's overripe and dead, and then you're getting some good stuff. You just have no idea what components you're getting from most bagged teas, right? They're not regulated. So then we take it to a fire roasting process that helps release the components that we need out of that tea to get to you. And then we take it through an extraction process, and then it's concentrated. One of the components I'm going to show you here in a second has 375 times the amount that you'll find in a regular bagged tea. So is it the same? No, it's absolutely not the same as a regular herbal mate tea. But then the golden part is we take it to a lab in Switzerland. I'm going to have to change this slide because I see that it doesn't show up very well. But we take it to a lab in Switzerland that takes it through this process called hyperpure that helps remove things like environmental toxins and pesticides. So now you're getting an extract that's highly concentrated and extremely pure. So when I like to think about it, if I was to do 30 bags of a regular herbal mate tea, what would that look like? Number one, it would cost more than the tea that I'm drinking here, but I would be getting a lot of pesticides and toxins that I just don't want in my body. So the Unimate helps you feel great all day. You can have it at any time. Like I'm drinking some now as soon as I finish up my, I've been talking too much, my Bone Fortify, which has got magnesium in it for my sleep. All right, it does help with mood and physical performance. It helps with strength and endurance during training. They've had scientific studies that show it can increase your physical performance by 10 to 13% in sports. And these are real food products, so they're not going to pop on any like WADA test or any of that. So drug tested athletes, we have top level soccer players in Canada using it. We have Vladdy Jr., who's a baseball player, using it. We have MMA fighters using it. We have a guy who is a power lifter, a world record holder power lifter, who's using it. He's also a scientist with the company. So it's amazing, amazing products. Hey, Sarah. I'm saying way too much tonight. That really annoys me when other people do it, so I got to watch that. All right, so the components in this, the ones that I like to talk about the most, these three top ones are chlorogenic acids, and what they do are they promote neuroprotective gene expression and have an antioxidant effect in the brain, but they're also helping you have that feeling of well-being. It's what's supporting healthy blood pressure and glucose levels and promotes weight loss. It makes me crazy when people say I can't have this because of my blood pressure. It's not a Red Bull, it's not a Bang Energy, it's not coffee. This actually helps with your blood pressure. It's crazy to have so much energy and still have your blood pressure get better, but this does, okay? Um, Chlorogenic acids are also they're polyphenols, and like I said earlier, there's 375 times in this than there are in a standard herbal mate tea. Then there's theobromine. Theobromines support healthy blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and they also promote a feeling of calm and reduced mental fatigue and improved focus. They're also the component that you find in really high quality dark chocolate that gives you that ooh ah feeling. And there's 3 times as much of the theobromine in this product as in the highest quality dark chocolate. And then we look at mate saponins, which are unique to this plant, and they support healthy triglycerides and the body's ability to burn fat. So, like all 3 of these components are helping with your ability to burn fat and your blood pressure. So, why wouldn't you drink the tea if you're having hypertension? Like I know I was terrified at first, but this and the consistent use of this is why my blood pressure is normal after over 20 years of having it extremely high to the point that I don't know how I have a heart in my chest still. All right, and then triterpenoid saponins. So you guys talk, you hear a lot about like reishi coffee and all this stuff. Triterpenoids are what they're talking about in those, and this tea actually has high amounts of triterpenoids. They're suggested to have human health benefits, including lowering serum cholesterol and providing antioxidant and anti-cancer activity in the body. So it's like all in one, and it tastes amazing. This one tastes like a lemon tea, but there's no lemon in it. This is natural flavor of the plant. We have a lemon ginger, which has a ginger extract. I'll go over all of that. We also have one that tastes and looks more like coffee. You guys can have it hot or cold. I love the lemon ginger in the morning hot right now when I go out for my walks. But when can you have it? You can have it in the morning. That's when you should have it. It helps you wake up, have mental energy and clarity without that like grab you by the throat and throw you up against the wall and make you cranky kind of energy. So you can have it between meals, you can have it several times a day, you can have it before presentations, tests, all of that. It will help you be more mentally focused and just alert and spot on. And that's actually, Stephanie started the system because we were in a business meeting on Zoom, and she noticed, I didn't tell her that I was doing anything, but she just noticed. She was like, Misha, what are you doing? Like your mood is better, your mental clarity is better, you have way more energy. What did you change? And I told her about the system, and she immediately was like, I'm going to try it. Even though she didn't have diabetes or have a reason to think that she needed to lose weight. Um, but none of us knew that Steph was actually depressed, and that helped her with that as well. So you guys, there's a couple of tips over here, really hard to see, but you can add some cinnamon to this. You can add the MCTs to it if you're having it hot. Um, I mix the I don't know if I have one here. I know I do. I mix the Unimate and the matcha together a lot. Amazing tasting drink, and no, it still doesn't break my fast. All right. So the balance is the second part of this, and there's 4 different patented blends in balance, and they're all doing amazing things for the body. So we're going to go over what each one of those are. This is why this is so much different. Benefiber is one type of fiber. Metamucil, like these are still full. I bought them just so I could wave them at you guys. This is 4-in-1 fiber. It still is only 2 types of fiber, has a shitload of sugar in it, and then it has a few vitamins and minerals in it. I don't know why they're calling it 4-in-1, supposedly for the actions, but you're getting 2 types of fiber, and they're just psyllium husk and maltodextrin. So those are not going to do what you need them to do. I've had people who actually stop the system because some of these TikTok guys are telling them, oh, just go buy herbal mate and buy Metamucil. Well, they stopped the system and did that thinking they were going to save themselves money, and they started having the same problems, and they realized in order to get what they were getting from the system, they were spending more money. So they came back. All right, so it's helping you, the balance is helping you controlling your blood sugar. It helps curb appetite. And you guys, I like to use the balance also for my acidic stomach. If I am having times, because I obsess a little bit sometimes, I'll just use the balance to help soothe my gut. It's not just, I don't just drink it because it's real food products. I don't have to worry about it. I don't just drink it before I eat, but if I'm having a night where I feel like, oh, my gut's a little acidic, I'll have a balance all by itself because it coats my gut. It starts to fill me up. It eases that acidic feeling and it makes it easy. And I know that it's good for me and it's helping with my gut microbiome. So the Biosphere fiber is a unique blend that includes 5 different sources of fiber, and they help support your cholesterol levels, and they slow down the conversion of high glycemic carbohydrates into your blood sugar. The studies show that this actually takes a high glycemic food and in effect makes it a medium glycemic food because it slows down that delivery of sugar into the system. And then we have the 7X technology. So it's a specialized blend of plant-derived polysaccharides, also known as viscous fibers. They're the ones that are thickening up in your gut. They make this nice little gelatin mass, not a clump, but a mass that helps to make you feel full. That's what's coating my stomach. That's what's coating your food to help it slow down in delivery into your system. And then we have added the Cardio Matrix. So it's a blend of plant extracts and phytosterols that support the body's cholesterol absorption process. So now you see how we're attacking things like heart concerns. And there's a ton of research on chrysanthemum out there and how it does exactly this. And then there's other added phytosterols for the same purposes in there. Those are also acting as prebiotics and helping your gut start to normalize naturally. These are not probiotics. They're helping support your body produce its own natural probiotics. Then, because they've done studies and said, well, and that's exactly why Metamucil is doing this, because they're following us. But there's this vitamin complex that they've come up with. The specific vitamin complex in our product has scientific data that shows that it increases all of the effects that I just talked about of this balance, so that helping your metabolism, helping your digestion, slowing down the delivery of sugar and carbs. This specific blend of vitamins and minerals helps amplify all of that. So it's that's why I'm so in love with this product. And yes, gluten-free, halal, no animal products in it for those of you who are vegan. A couple of things I want to go over before we're done is some tips for success. You guys, drink your carbs, don't eat them. I mean, eat your carbs, don't drink them. And I haven't talked about this a lot lately, but fruit juice. You know, I know a lot of people who are super health nuts, and I see them drinking tons of fruit juice. And it, knowing what I know now, it's hard for me to watch, because really what's happening is you're taking fruit, which creates fructose in your system, which has to go through your liver, and it's what's putting a load on your liver, and you've taken all the fiber out of that juice, out of the fruit, to have your juice. And so now what you're doing is just, you might as well just take a garden hose and shove it in your arm for the fructose that you're shoving in your system. So don't drink your carbs. In fact, Dr. Bickman talks about, now that, does he really do it? No, but he's just making a point. He would rather give his children full sugar soda than fruit juice because of what the fruit juice is doing to the body. So eat your carbs. Don't drink them. Pay attention to what you're eating. Am I saying you can't have fruit? No, I'm saying limit it. Treat it as a dessert. Make sure that you're getting more low glycemic fruits than high glycemic. And if you don't know what those are, just Google it. You can find it. Then you want to use healthy fats. I talked about that earlier. Animal fats, butter, ghee, coconut oil, olive oil, and avocado oil. And I can go into more depth with that because there are some things. Trans fats are the ones that are harmful. And seed oils. You guys, I know, look, I will tell you again, my grandson came over this weekend. There's a little gas station here in town. My son loves the chicken there. My son was coming home, and so we went to this Royal Farms and grabbed chicken. Good chicken. But I got so sick that night, and I'm like, what the hell happened? because they cook the chicken in seed oils or peanut oil or whatever, I got like literally throw up, like doubled over in pain, sick, because my body's not used to those oils. So when I say don't drink them, it's not just, oh, I'm being over exaggerated. It's now that I have not had those things. When I do have them and I get sick, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at what this is doing to my body. Stay away from seed oils. Um, and if you want to have conversation about that, I'm more than happy to. Remember, fat loss is not weight loss, or weight loss is not fat loss. So, backwards, Michelle, back up your truck. Fat loss is not weight loss. Take your measurements, pay attention to how your clothes fit, toss the scale. When you're losing fat, you're losing size. But when you're insulin sensitive, now all of these cells that were not getting energy before and not getting nutrients are starting to get energy. And so you start having better bone density. You start having more muscle tissue. You start having more ligament and joint tissue that you just didn't have before. So that equates to heaviness in the body, but it doesn't mean that you're putting on fat or that you haven't lost fat. So toss the scale, pay attention to how everything else is feeling fitting, and make sure you're doing measurements. Look, there are not side effects with the system. If there were, they would have to be listed in the PDR. Haven't gone over the PDR yet, but these products are in the prescriber's digital reference. There are no contraindications and no drug interactions listed. They'd have to be there if there were. The only thing that is mentioned with the balance is that you may have some mild gastrointestinal bloating, and that type of thing, because your body's getting used to the increased uptake of fiber. So if you're having that, go on, just make sure you're getting plenty of water, or contact your coach and they'll help you through that part. It's worth that first few days of or month of that, because that's telling you how unhealthy your gut's been, and you want to get it healthy. So this is not a restrictive diet. It's not a passing fad, a difficult health challenge. This is not something that you have to start on Monday. You have to go do some crazy shopping for. No, put it to use right now. If you get it in the midday, have your balance before you eat. That's what it's there for, is to help mediate all of that stuff so that you can have a real life. They're tools. Use them consistently, and you'll start to see change in your health when you're using them consistently. So, when will you see results? It's different for everybody. It's not possible to give an accurate measure of when you're going to see results, because everybody's body is different. We do have a 90-day money-back guarantee. That's a 100% guarantee. We want you to do this for 90 days. It's natural food products, so use it for the full 90 days. See how you feel. Would I rather a tree grow or a knee grow? That I don't, that's horrible. So, I guarantee, so you're guaranteed that you'll have results in the first 90 days if you are using the product like it's meant to be used. So there's so many factors. Like I said, everyone starts their journey with different health conditions. Your body is innately intelligent. It's going to address the the things that your body needs to address, and that may be different for you than for somebody else. Somebody, it may be the weight needs to come off of their body. Somebody, it may be their gut has to get healthier, their arteries need to be cleared out. So let your body do its work, and don't overthink what needs to happen for you. I mean, just know that you're taking care of yourself from the inside out, and allow your body its journey back to health. So, if weight loss is your main goal, understand that you do need to make some changes to your diet. We say there's food freedom with this, and there really is. But if you're wanting to lose weight, I'm not going to tell you that you can have pizza and hamburgers every day and lose a ton of weight. Okay, so you are going to need to make some adjustments to your diet if weight loss is your goal. If weight loss is secondary to you and you're concerned about getting healthy, then that's a very different thing. This drink, is that what you're asking about? This is the Bone Fortify. It's a magnesium, calcium, D3, and K2. For the last 2 months, they've been giving it free with the first subscription order. It helps support bone, digestion, mood, and sleep. And I drink it every night before bed. So it's not part of the system, it supports the system. Normally it's like $27 for, I don't have the tub with me right now. It's $27. It's a berry flavored drink. So that's what that is. And then this one is the Unimate tea. You guys, I always have 10 drink cups around me. So they give this out free. They're switching now. I think it's the Omegas that they're going to be doing this month. I need to double check that. But I love this product. I know the nights when I forget to take it because of my ADD, sometimes I have a hard time sleeping. When I drink this, I sleep much better. And I just know magnesium is so healthy for you, as well as the D3. Now it's mixed magnesium and calcium because you need calcium with the magnesium for the magnesium to metabolize correctly. The same thing with D3 and K2. Those two need to be balanced. And one thing I love with the company is they're not just like, oh, turmeric is really good for you, but we didn't add curcumin to it so you can metabolize it. No, they're giving you what you need to be able to actually utilize the supplement or the product. Okay, so that's what this is. You guys, also, if you're interested in ordering, just go to my profile at the very top here. There's a link there. I'm going to show you that in a minute, and we'll get to that. And then we're just about to the part where you guys get to ask questions if you choose, and I'm more than happy to go over that with you. But remember, don't give up. Just reach out to your coach. Understand that everybody's journey is different. I'm here to help you. If you reach out to me, I will help you. But I have a lot of people, and so sometimes I'm not as good at reaching out as I should be. But never, ever, ever feel like you can't reach out to me. I love when people do because that's what fills my soul. Medications. Continue taking your medications until your doctor tells you otherwise. I threw mine away within the first few months, but I'm kind of a rogue person. I'm not saying anyone else should do that. But I also worked in medical and understood what medications needed to be titrated off of and what medications I should stop. So there are some of those issues too, you guys. Some of your medications you can't just stop cold turkey. It will cause more damage than it's worth. So please work with your physician if you're going to get off of your medications. We have a ton of people who are off theirs, but always work with your physician to do that. Again, if there were any contraindications or drug interactions, it would be in the PDR. And you guys, you can look up the PDR. There's a link right there. You can screenshot it if you want. Or you can just go to the PDR, I'll show you that in a second, and type in Unimate or Balance, and you'll see the whole thing in the PDR, which is pretty amazing because Q Sciences, Herbalife, none of those companies have anything in the PDR. We have 18 products in the PDR. That tells you how serious we are about the science and taking your health seriously. Do doctors recommend it? Yes, they do. More and more we're having doctors on board. The system was put together just over 2 years ago, but we have clinical physicians, weight loss physicians, scientists, oncologists, and cardiologists who are all, and endocrinologists who are all recommending the system. In fact, there's a cardiologist in Wisconsin who has told every one of his patients, every single one of his patients, to utilize the system. So it's real, and yes, it works. There's a reason that we're having so much success with it. So one other thing I want to talk to you guys about is companies that don't handle their own products or supply chain are putting you at risk. They don't know what's going into the product. They don't know the efficacy of it. They don't know how it's been stored or handled. We have control of our products from the time it leaves the farmer till the time it's on the truck to come to you. We have our own manufacturing facilities. We have our own scientists. We take control, and we take your health seriously and make sure that you're getting the best product available. We also have partnerships with a number of universities and science facilities like Johns Hopkins, American Diabetes, American Heart Association, Columbia Medical University, University of Sydney, BYU, UNLV. It's also listed with informed choice, NSF, and cologne list. So again, if you're an athlete and concerned, it's not going to pop you on any test. It's real food. And there's none of the foods that, like, I was a drug tested athlete. I would take this when I was, and there was a lot of stuff I wouldn't even touch when I was competing because I didn't want to have any record pulled from me or be banned from lifting. So it's completely safe, you guys. It's an amazing product. Um, every batch of our products are tested before they come out to you so that we make sure, hey, you guys over on Facebook, so somebody's saying, love what the Feel Great system does for her. Energy, solid sleep, no more vertigo, lost 20 pounds. Wow. I should be checking these comments more. That's freaking amazing. Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people will say that their gut is in rough shape when they start. And it's disheartening when people give up too soon because of the discomfort that happens. You guys, there's, like I said, drink lots of water. We have a really great laxative with aloe vera in it. If you're having constipation issues and whatnot, I just would use the aloe vera. It's really smooth and easy on the gut, and it will help through those first days. I had, okay, TMI time, right? I had uncontrolled IBS to the point where it was hard for me to leave the house to even go grocery shopping. If I wanted to go out of the house for any point in time, I had to make sure I hadn't eaten for a few hours because it could be disastrous. And that was horrifying and embarrassing. And I don't have those issues now. And the first few times I sat down and actually had normal bathroom habits, I wanted to dance. I wanted to get up and dance because that's been an issue for me for years, and it just got worse as I aged. So yeah, lax you up. Just make sure that if you're using a laxative, that you're using something that's gentle, and make sure you're getting enough water in. And then, yeah, reach out to me because let's just help get you through that, but stay with it because you'll be so happy you did on the other side. I've had people tell me Crohn's, IBS, leaky gut have all improved while staying consistent with the system. It actually does help change your gut microbiome as it's feeding your probiotics and rebalancing that in the gut. So, and there's so many things that are linked to the gut that I haven't even addressed, but gut inflammation. I was listening to an autoimmune doc talk the other day, and he was talking about, which I've said multiple times on here, how 70% of your immune cells are held in your gut. And when your gut's out of whack and those immune cells can't do what they're supposed to, right? And the insulin is causing these excessive reactions in different areas of the body is having a hard time, and you end up with autoimmune diseases. So take care of the gut, take care of all of that, and you start to feel better. Um, all right. So guarantees, we have the 90-day money back guarantee. We have the best price guarantee. When you order with my link, you're not going to pay any more than I do ever. And we have that triple testing guarantee. Make sure you're getting really efficacious products and that it has what we say it has in it. This is not one of those companies where I have a candle burning, where they're saying it has A, B, and C in quantities in the product and you get it and it doesn't have that in there. We're very strict about making sure that what we say on the side of the box is what's in that packet when it gets to you. So I'm super proud of the company for that too. They're just amazing with it. Now look, those of you guys who have already done it, or if you're thinking about doing this, yes, we have a referral program that can save you money. So if you, and I help people with this all the time. If you lose your referral number, you get one when you order. If you lose that, just get a hold of me. I'll help you through until we can get there. But I've had mothers refer their daughters, or daughters refer their mothers, or whatever, uncle, brother, sister. They just call me and say, hey, Misha, I sent somebody over. I make sure that you get that referral money. So that referral can be $10 every month they order that you get in credit off of your order the next month. So, just a couple people can really knock down the price that you're paying on yours, plus you're helping them get their health back too. You guys, it's so crazy how much money you save when you're doing the system because, like, For me, I track everything. I have every single thing on a spreadsheet. I put my budget on a spreadsheet because when I was younger, I really screwed up my financial health because of my ADD and because of not being taught and all of that. So now I have my budget projected out for a year on a spreadsheet. And the bottom line of all of that is when I started the system, I didn't think I could afford it. But then when I started doing the system, I realized that I was saving money. The medications, 10 medications that I no longer take, $10 a pop for those copays, that's $100 a month. The food that I'm not buying, like you guys, yes, it costs me $154 a month or $5 a day. But the money I save on those things like medications and other products and food is insane. It's 2 to 3 times of what I spend on the system, and my budget has gone down. Thank you. Yeah, I was really upset about it at first, but I've embraced these highlights, and we were going to go add more in a couple of weeks, but I think I'm going to give it a rest and let it grow out a little bit. I kind of miss my dark hair, but I kind of don't. Time for a change. Thank you for the compliment. So you guys, listen, and I don't talk about this a lot, but I'm going to just a moment here before I hop off on Facebook, and I'll stay here on TikTok, or I'll stay on both of them. Um, but yeah, this has not just changed my health life, right? It's changed my entire life. The whole reason I get to be with my grandson that I talk about all the time and travel and everything is because of the system, and because I finally felt like I found something that worked. And I was in a place where, oh, the East Coast, the East Coast suits me. I really, really enjoy being on the East Coast. Um, I was always proud to be a West Coaster, but I really am enjoying being here. Yeah, it's this area that I live in is beautiful. It's amazing. I love rain, so it's perfect. And I'm really enjoying the adventure right now. But thank you. Um, you guys, though, ask me if you're interested in the how I make money part of it and how simple this can be. It can change your life like it did mine. I'm more than happy to share that with you, and it's actually super easy. I like the humidity, Patty. I was in the desert in Boise for 10 years, and it was hard on me. I did not like the dry. I would rather it be humid than it be dry for sure. And I have, in my little condo, I have a patio. One of the reasons I chose this one is because it has a patio. And so my grandson and I, next month, we're going to go pick out some chairs so we can go sit in the rain. Actually sit in the rain. In Idaho, when it would rain, story time now. You guys all answer any product questions you have. I'm just kind of hanging out at this point. Let me change this out though. Um, we had a house that we had built a house that had a deck, and the kids and I would go sit on the deck at night and eat all the time. And if it was raining, then we just sat in the rain. And I mean, we had deer that walked under our deck. We had wild turkeys. It was crazy, but we loved to sit out in the rain. You want me to make you join what, honey? I um I'm confused by that one. Maybe sometimes my brain doesn't work in the way. Got yeah, humidity you do save on body cream. Yep. The desert's hard on that part. And yeah, your gut and heartburn. You guys, there's 3 connections. We don't talk about it a lot, but I'm going to connect the dots tonight, right? Oh, how far is Woodbine? I'm going to look it up. I should meet with you. You want to meet up? Let me see if you're within reach of me because I'm in Abingdon, Maryland. And I don't know where all the places are here. Let me look. I would absolutely love to come meet you, Patsy, because I'm an introvert and I don't get out enough. So any reason to twist my arm and make me leave this house is probably a good thing right now. And look, I can bring a system to you. How's that? And we can talk about it. Where's Woodbine? Oh, hello. I'm looking it up. Now you got me curious. I like figuring out where all these places are. You are a bit away from me, though. Woodbine. I'll figure it out. But yeah, Carroll County. I'm going to put my number in here. Why don't you text me and let's I'll just take a drive and we'll meet up. So just text me and let's make a let's make a plan to get together. And Canada, I know you were mentioning somebody on Facebook was talking Canada. Where in Canada are you at? I have a friend over in Alberta. I grew up just south of BC and spent a lot of summers in BC. But I love traveling, and I'm actually just making some plans for Vegas in May. I'll be going back to the West Coast in June. I have some things going on there. From OC. Now I got to look where these places are. So I'm just outside. Abingdon, some people tell me they don't, because I guess it's a newer, but Bel Air, so about a half hour north of Baltimore is where I'm at. And doesn't matter. I'll drive and get out and be out of the house a little bit. Okay. Oh, okay, I'll come to Canada. She's killing me over here. Lax you up. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you this real quick, and then we're going to be done here in a minute. I'm going to end the stream over there as soon as I can figure myself out. Good night, everybody on Facebook. Thanks for hanging out. Text me, message me if you need my address to talk to me more. Find me on TikTok or Instagram, and I'd love to help you out. Have a good night, guys.